No pun intended. Episode number 45. Thank you all for joining. I am joined once again by Mr. Matt Jensen. Matt, how's it going tonight?
Oh, good, Jesse. How are you doing? In case you're only listening to audio only, I was looking around.
He's like, Mr. Matt Jensen. That's my father. No, just kidding. No, it's
What?
good to have you back. It made no sense. It made no sense. Yeah, how's it going? How's the concert?
It was good. Yeah, it was really good. So we went to music of John Williams, and it was just like all these famous songs from movies. It was fun.
Yeah, when you said it was John Williams, I'm like, okay, I know the name from like soundtracks, but I swear he did a bunch of famous ones like Jurassic Park and Star Wars. Is that right?
Yep, and Harry Potter
Okay,
series
man.
and some other movies too that weren't as popular, but he still had some pretty epic soundtracks for them.
Do you like listening to soundtracks?
I don't, but I do appreciate like some of those real famous movies, how the music can kind of like make or break the movie, to
Oh
make it
yeah.
into that like blockbuster.
Oh yeah, for sure. It can definitely like push it over the edge for sure. It'd be so weird watching movies without the soundtrack. It would like all the suspense would be gone.
Yep.
Um, I'm gonna drop a few that I have listened to a lot. One is the Imitation Game. That soundtrack is very good and super fun. Another one I've listened to a lot is Interstellar, and then what's the one with like Joseph Gordon-Levitt and like the spinning top thing? I can't remember.
I don't
Inception.
know.
Inception.
Okay.
Those are all good soundtracks. I think those are all like Hans Zimmer, Hans Niemann Zimmer, who does those. Not John Williams, not John Bartholomew Williams. You know.
I like how you did that.
Okay, if you guys are watching on video, you may notice that we have upped our video quality. At least we hope so. We're trying out a new recording. Matt has been getting a lot of lag on his computer, which I think is a Zoom issue or a skill issue, one of the two. And so we are trying to upgrade our equipment. We're going to be a proper podcast, you guys. We're not just going to hit our 1 year mark and fold. We are going to do it the right way. And next week, we're hoping to have a guest on. So still trying to work out the scheduling for that to make it final. But I bet you've heard of him. If you want to know who that is, you can get on our emails. That is chessgoals.com/newsletter, and we'll email something out about that. A couple other things is we're going to have a big sale in the next few days. I think our D4 slash Catalan courses are going for sale, probably like 50% off, 50% off. We haven't decided yet. It's going to be the best price we're ever going to offer on that course, I'm sure. And then we're going to do a Black Friday sale. So if you want to know about those, get on our emails and we will let you know. We've had a couple questions in our Discord. By the way, if you buy any of our courses, you will get access to our Discord. We had a question on the Discord about the modern course, and that's something that has been a bit on the back burner, but we're starting to pick it back up. I said in the Discord we're hoping to get it out this year. Is that misinformation, or is that probably true, Matt?
It's hard to say because I do feel like every time I give a timeline on the modern course, it does get pushed back. Um, but we'll see. I think by end of the year is very reasonable. And what it's probably going to boil down to is how much time do you and I have to record? Because we may just end up releasing it with the full PGN file and half the videos, sort of do the pre-sale model where you can purchase it early at a
Yep.
discount, and then you get the videos as they roll out. I think that's the most likely scenario, and we could probably have that ready to go by Christmas. I think would be a good goal.
Yeah, nice. We should try that. But we also have lives, guys. So we have a lot going on, and it is hard to find time. It is hard for us to find even some weeks. It's hard for us to find a common day to do a podcast together. Like last week, literally every single day, one of us was gone, and so we couldn't match up. Um, but that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles. But if you want us to go full time on chess goals, keep buying our courses, and then we'll quit our jobs and we'll do chess goals. All right, so the Chennai Grandmasters just wrapped, and this tournament was in the news because one Arjun Erigaisi started off very very hot, and he actually um, he got all the way up to world number two for a brief moment in time. Do you see that?
Yeah. Should I do a breakdown of the players in the rating game?
Yeah, break it down.
Should I do it?
Chennai. Okay,
So
okay.
took a second. So Arjun gained 1.9 rating points to get to 2800.9. Levon gained 8.4 rating points. That put him up into 11th in the world. And then there's this new guy, Do you want to pronounce his name, Jesse?
Oh yes, I would love to. That is one Aravind Chithambaram. Is that right?
It looks right. And he is 25 years old from India. He's now 26th in the world at 27.18. And the crazy thing is, normally you'd be thinking a 25-year-old 27.18, that's amazing. But all of his countrymen, these other young players from India, are all higher rated. Um, but I mean, that's still really good progress, and I'm sure he gets a lot of great competition.
Yeah, he is probably just gone through the ringer. Anytime you're over 2,700 and you're like gaining rating as an India player, like playing in the Indian tournaments, that is tough. But he, like people ahead of him in his country, this is terrible. This is brutal. Arjun Erigaisi, D. Gukesh, World Chess Championship, uh, Pragnananda, and then it's Vishy, and then him. So a ton of competition for the Olympiad. He's like a 25-year-old 2,700, and he's like a reserve for the Olympiad. That's pretty rough.
And Vidit too.
Oh, and I missed Vita. Yeah, you're right. That's like the U.S. U.S. has Fabi, Naka, Levon, Wesley, Lanier, and then Hans all the way down at number 18. And then after that, Ray Robson. Ray Robson is 2,700, and he's like seventh in his country. That's a crime.
Yeah. And Sam Shanklin, I mean, for a while he was on fire. He's not even top seven in the US.
Yeah, Shanklin is 2672 and he's eighth. No, ninth behind Awander now. No, 10th
Oh, wow.
behind Sam Sevian. There's 10 people in like the 2670s from the US. That's pretty crazy. So the top 57 chess players in the world, 10 of them are from the US. It's like 20%.
And yeah, Hans Niemann, he's got to be the next world champion, right?
First American world champ. Of all those names, I think Hans is going to be the first American world champ. So it's an exciting time for American chess. I think this is like the strongest American chess squad we've ever had, don't you think?
Yeah, and I don't think it's even close. Bobby Fischer obviously was a solo player from the US and really, really strong. And then there was a long stretch where it was like Hikaru and the famous blank legend, Kamsky. Like those were the top two
Komsky.
US players, and that was it. I
Yeah,
mean, there was no one else close.
I forgot about Komsky there for a while. Okay, yes. So let's go through the Chennai Masters. So let's just kind of go through Eric Geissy's games because that's the most and most exciting. So he wins round one against Vidit. He goes into round two and he draws Levon. Round three, he's playing against Alexei Serrana and he wins. So he starts two out of three. Round four, he has black against Amin Tabatabai, and he wins. So he's 3.5 out of four. And that was when he peaked at, I believe he made it up to 2809. Can you confirm or deny?
He had gained 14 points, and let's see, he ended up losing another eight, essentially. So yeah, it's probably 2809. That sounds right.
2809. That was good for world number two, but he gave it up real quick. He lost the next round against Aravind, and then he drew in round seven. Or I think I missed a round. So he drew round five, then he lost in round six against Aravind, and then he drew again round seven. So just 1 point in the last three rounds. But still showing incredible class. That is still good for a 2816 performance rating. And man, he's been right around that 2800 plus performance rating, just like Gukesh. It could just be the Erigaisi Gukesh show over the next 5, 10 years, don't you think?
I think it's very possible. I saw an interesting, it was either a tweet or it was a Reddit post saying the World Championship has the second best player in their respective countries. What do you think about that?
Yeah, yeah, because Ding is number two over who's even number one in China these days?
Wei
Is it
Yiwei.
Okay, and then yeah, number one in India is going to be Erigaisi. But honestly, it feels like Kakesh and Erigaisi are right there, neck and neck. Erigaisi has really had a crazy, incredible year, and Kakesh has too. So I mean, you could argue one or the other is very slightly better, but Ding is pretty clearly number two in China. So yeah, whoever's going to be the world chess championship is not going to be the best player in their country, which is kind of crazy.
I mean, if Gukesh D wins by a wide enough margin, maybe he can cross 2801 and claim that top spot in India, but that's a pretty big margin. We're looking at what, 18-point difference
He's
between
got to pick
Arjun
up
and Gukesh.
Yeah, he's got to pick up 18 points, and like let's say he's gonna gain probably 5 points for a win. He'll probably drop a point for a loss. So he's gonna. I mean, that's tough to pick up 18 points. He's gonna
I
have
think he's
to
only
be
going to
like
gain
plus
four.
six.
I think he only sorry to interrupt. I think he only gains like four for a win because he's so much higher rated already.
Okay, yeah, because he's coming in. Let's get their live rating. So, um, Gakesh is 2783, and World Chess Championship Ding Liren is 2728. So he is plus, what is that, 55 points in rating? I can't
Yeah.
math. Yeah. So yeah, that's tough, man. I don't think he's gonna gain 20 points on Ding. It seems to me like everyone is just assuming that Gakesh is gonna run away with it. Did you? Okay, this is something we should cover, but I haven't really looked into it. But Magnus has a new chess app called Take Take Take. Have you seen it?
I just briefly saw, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it either. So, good job, podcast host. But I saw that they had a long interview with Ding, which I also didn't watch. But he's saying the headline of the article was Ding was afraid that he might just lose in horrible fashion. And honestly, it's seeming more likely than not, honestly. Gakesh is at his peak, and Ding is very much in a valley.
I'm looking up the new odds, and you might be interested in this. They have a ton of different bets you can place.
Okay,
The site is BWin that I'm looking at right now.
okay.
So maybe pull this up on your screen and we can talk through what bets we would place because I'm actually very curious to know how you would place your bets on a bunch of these.
Okay, let me share for our viewers.
Okay. And the most interesting one is obviously just what's the result after the classical games. And it looks like the margin is getting wider because I'm seeing Ding Liren plus 450, draw plus 500, and Gukesh D minus 275.
Okay, is this the right thing that I'm
Yep,
looking
that's
at?
it. That's it.
Okay, so will the match be decided? Okay, how many pieces will be left on the board when game one is ended? What kind of bet is that?
So that
Okay,
third one is the one you want the drop down right below that. Yep.
oh, okay. Result after. Those are for the total degenerates. How many pieces will be left on the board? Are you kidding me? Uh,
Yeah.
I'm I'm taking the over though because 8.5. How could it be under 8.5? That's going to be a quick draw, boys. Be a quick draw. They'll exchange a few pawns way more than 8.5.
Actually, that's probably why. Yeah. It's just there might be some quick draw and they go on to game two. Get the nerves
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Negative 400 for over 8.5. I think that's probably right. Okay, sorry. Sidetrack. So result after 14 classical games. Ding plus 450, draw plus 500, Gukesh negative 275. Wow.
Yeah.
Um,
Plus
not give.
450. That's like 20%, isn't it? Or somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's gonna be like I think plus 400 would be 20%. So that's not good.
Wow. So we're looking at 20% tiebreak, 20% ding, 60% chance to remember the name.
Yeah. Okay. Will one of the player? Oh, let's try to guess on these lines. Will one of the players win two or more consecutive games? I'm taking negative 200. Yes.
I'll say plus 200. Yes.
Wow. Plus 120. Yes. Okay. Interesting.
Because you have to
Uh,
win with white and black most likely, unless it's like in the middle.
no, that's a very good point, actually. Okay, I didn't think about that. Will any of the first four games have 80 moves or more? I'm saying no, negative 175.
I'll go no, but like plus 100.
No, whoa. Oh,
Oh.
wait, no, negative 350. Okay, so big swing for no. I was
Oh, that
closer.
makes sense. Yeah. I was thinking about it backwards. I think 80
Oh,
is very rare.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so you said 175, right?
Yeah. Or
Oh, yeah, so,
100. I don't remember.
okay. We'll go back to the tape. I can't remember either. Our
The
brains are
problem is I
so
think in
cooked, dude.
percentages and I can't do those on the
Yeah.
fly.
Our brains are so fried. Okay,
Yeah.
will a pawn be the first piece to be taken in each of the first four games?
I'll say
Hmm.
yes, and it's like 60, mm, 65% chance because you got to do it all 4 games in a row.
Yeah, so that would be negative 300. Or
Okay.
no, negative 200. I'll say it's going to be bigger than that. I'll say like negative 250. 165. Okay, I'm betting yes on that all day.
Yeah.
Do these
So that's
people
close
know
to a
chess?
coin flip.
Pawnby though. I mean, what else could you? Are you gonna like exchange knights before moving any pawns? Like, what openings do you exchange pieces before pawns? Get some
Um,
Carocons with an early bishop f5 or something.
Maybe Roy
Or
Lopez if they're playing those more strategic openings.
yeah, maybe
Nimzovinians.
maybe we're getting a bunch of Scandies though, and it's all gonna be quick pawn captures. That'd be sick.
Well, I think there's also like if you let's say you figure there's a 90% chance it's a pawn capture first. You guys still string 4 in a row together.
Yeah, that's true. Four in a row is a lot. Will Gakesh be the first player to move the queen in both game one and game two? This is dumb, dude. Okay, it's just 50% for both, so I'm gonna put it right at like plus. It's gonna be like plus 300, yes, because it's just 50-50 either way. That makes no sense. How could there be an edge there?
I
Will a
don't.
pawn, will at least one pawn be turned into a queen during the first 3 games? I don't think so, because people are gonna resign before you get another queen.
Yeah.
I'm I'm gonna say no, negative 350. No, like a
Oh,
thousand. Okay, I was gonna.
I
I
might
mean, we
bet on that
both.
the other direction.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Throw a yes in there.
Number of games with wins for white pieces after classical chess. So there's gonna be 14 games. How many games will white win? I'll say. I mean, there's only 7 chances for a win, really.
I like that. I like that.
I'll say. I'll say two,
I was gonna say 3.
three. So two is plus 400. Three is plus 500. Wow, one or less and four or more are about the
What?
same. Interesting.
What?
I don't.
So they're saying it's either gonna be a runaway or it's gonna be an even match. Is that the idea?
Yeah. Okay, I guess. Okay, in which classical game will we first get a win? That's a good question.
4.
Okay, none of these make any sense. I'll just slightly go up with each game. How many pawns will be left on the board when game one has ended? Oh, that is a degen. 6, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, good
It's
guess.
actually pretty close to the
That was
line.
a really good guess. Get your wallet out, Jesse.
Yeah. So it's like negative 350 for over 5.5,
That was a
plus
perfect
220
guess.
for under. Yeah. I would take the over on that pretty easily. Number of moves in game one. That's a good question. Um, okay, I think it really comes down to who has the first white. Honestly, if Ding has white first, I'm going to go with a 28 move draw. If Gukesh has white, we may see like 40-50 moves. I'm not sure.
I was gonna say 45.
45. I'll take the under. Oh, dude, you nailed it.
Nice.
45 is the exact line.
That's crazy.
Did you check that beforehand?
No.
Will the player who wins the first classical game also be the world champion? Oh, that's gonna be like negative 300. Yes,
Yeah, I agree.
negative
Oh, good
250.
guess.
Will first 2 games both end with a draw? Um, I'll say yes, like plus 120.
I think
Very
that's
close.
about a coin flip.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Okay.
we are saying about the same.
Yeah.
Will there be a Will there be a check in each of the first 3 games? Probably.
Oh, that's another one of those tricky ones though, where it's like you got to string 3 together. I'd say more likely no.
Yeah,
But
if it's
close.
3 in a row, you think more likely no?
Yeah, but close.
Whoa.
Oh, obviously yes.
Yes is negative 3,000.
But what about all those agreed draws? It only takes one agreed draw before a check to throw that off. But okay.
I'm betting no there, dude.
Same here. You know what they don't show though? They don't show the volume of these bets. I wonder if like no
Yeah,
one's really betting on that yet, and as soon as a bet gets placed, it really shifts the lines.
yeah. Will a pawn be the last piece to be taken in each of the first 2 games?
Most
I
likely.
don't even know. No? Okay. No says negative 200. Will there be at least one game with only two kings left on the board during classical chess?
No.
I would say no, probably like negative 700. I don't think they're going to play it out to king and king.
And they got 14 chances to make it a yes. That's the hard part. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's unlikely though. I agree.
No, negative 400. So we're actually pretty
Okay.
close. When will the match be decided? I think it's
Yeah.
probably like 80, yeah, 85% in classical. What do you think?
Oh, I see. Yeah, I'd agree with that. 85 or 80.
Yeah, classical chess, negative 1,000, rapid blitz or Armageddon. Oh man, Armageddon would be crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, Number of games with wins for black pieces after classical chess. Oh my goodness. Okay, zero.
This is if there's a tiebreaker.
Yeah,
Wait, or in the classical chess portion.
after classical chess. Number of games with wins for black pieces after classical chess. Who comes up with these, by the way?
So there's a chance that you don't even get to
Yeah,
games after classical chess. Okay. Uh, yeah,
zero.
zero.
I think zero's got to be like. I mean, this was negative 1,000, so
Right.
probably like negative 1,200. What?
Or does this mean
Like this just means like if it's guaranteed to go into Armageddon or guaranteed to go to tie breaks, because otherwise that makes no sense.
so if they hit a tiebreaker?
Yeah,
Weird. That's really strange.
that's weirdly worded. All right, last one. Will the first win during classical chess be achieved with white or black pieces? Probably white.
And what odds?
Probably like negative 270.
I'll go white, but like negative 400.
500, negative
Ooh,
400. No wins during classical chess is plus 1,400. That'd be sad.
nice.
All right, and those are the old prop bets for the World Chess Championship. Uh,
Hey, when are we going to get our gambling sponsorship? Have you been working on that still?
okay, so those are the odds. There is one other tournament going on. Levy Rosman is playing. I don't know what's going on with this tournament though, because it's one of those like round robin grandmaster norms that I actually talked about quite a bit in my last podcast. But he's played like 4 rounds, so I'm not exactly sure. Maybe they had someone drop out or something. Or maybe there's a controversy I'm not aware of, but he's played a few rounds and he right now is on 1.5 out of 4. So he had a draw against Brewington Hardaway, which I saw he made Grandmaster. Ilya Nizhnik, he drew a 2576, by the way. And he also drew Isaac Can. And he said that he played his first ever Sicilian in over the board chess, and he played with 99% accuracy to get the draw, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out this 11 player tournament. So it looks like him and the player below him in the cross table combined to equal one player.
Yeah, so I wonder if that guy had to drop out or something, or maybe he withdrew and but they still needed someone to fill in
It's
because
pretty
they're
big
pretty
substitute.
yeah. So I'm not exactly sure what happened. I have no knowledge of what happened, but yeah, it looks like he withdrew or something because if you line up the cross tables,
So it's 11 players, but I think it's 10 games per player and then that's it. So it's the tournament's done. But people either played Levy or this other guy for
oh, so it's really nine rounds.
yes,
Okay,
correct. So like should
confusing.
be 10 players, 9 rounds, all play all. If you add up Levy and Farai, they added up to 2.5 points, which would have been last place.
Okay. But Levy held his own. He got 1.5 out of 4. Other guy got 1 out of 5. And Levy actually picked up a couple of rating points, so good on him for that.
And I wouldn't be
Um,
surprised if Levy said up front, like, hey, I can play the last 4 games. Maybe he knows the organizers well. It's in New York. And they said, okay, we'll fill in somebody for the first 5 games.
yeah, that's very true. Maybe we had it backwards, and they can, like he said, he could play the last few rounds rather
Because he
than.
was finishing up that Kramling match, right?
Oh,
With
yeah,
Pia.
that's right. Yeah, did you follow that by the way?
There was one day I tuned in live, but I didn't follow the match, no.
It's a pretty good setup. I thought that their venue was very nice. The cameras were really good. The commentary was good. I didn't like really watch the commentary all that much, but he played really well too, and he ended up winning one or two classical games against Pia, and then he played very well in the Rapid and Blitz, and I think beat her pretty handily there.
Yeah, that's a good matchup because it's kind of a clash of styles. She's so solid and positional, and he's more aggressive.
Yep. Yeah, one of his wins was in a Duran rook and pawn endgame. I think there's like rooks and maybe he was up a pawn. It was two versus three, but a pretty holdable draw, especially someone as good as Pia. And she flagged in classical chess, so that's how he got one of his wins, which is too bad.
I think I saw her flag in a Rapid or Blitz game too when I was watching.
Yeah. Yeah, and she almost beat in the. Did she play in the candidates this year? The women's candidates? I think she did.
I believe so.
And she almost beat Ju Wenjun in I can't even remember what game it was, but she had a fork at one point and would have won easily, but she missed it. I think it's just in a time scramble or something. I have to go back and check. All right, that is where we are going to call it for this episode. Thank you all for joining. I hope that this new streaming software pays off and we're able to give you guys higher quality. I did not notice any lag on Matt's part, so hopefully that is all taken care of with this new streaming setup. Thank you all for joining, and as always, we will see you next week. Bye, everyone.